A parenting fail?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose you would call it a parenting fail, but of course, having been a drag queen and that, and I used to get dressed up and that, and I remember Denise, when she was away at college and that, and Annie and I had been to a party, and when we got back, Denise couldn't find my key. I didn't know where Denise was in, actually, so when I knocked on the door, thinking my other daughter would open, and Denise opened it to be confronted by Marlene Dietrich and Cleopatra hanging over her shoulder.
I brought a new boyfriend, and I said, my mum and dad will be back soon. And literally, legless, Marlene Dietrich and my mother, drunk Cleopatra.
Did you not know that your dad dressed up?
No, I didn't know. But this particular night, when I brought this new boyfriend back, I just thought they were at a party. I didn't know he was Marlene Dietrich. I mean, once... Anyway, I'm not going to talk because you talk to Dad, because I've got too many stories of parenting fails. No, I haven't.
Can you think of any?
What?
Parenting fails that you've done?
Apart from the moving house saga that everybody in the world knows about, yes.
The moving house saga. I may have mentioned that a few times on the show.
60 million times.
Maybe 60 million times. Yeah. In case you haven't heard this story, here's what my parents did. I could just do what my parents did, and they left the country.
Well, they literally left you behind.
Country. Yeah, I was away at the time, and I rang home and someone else answered the phone. I'm not even joking. They did do that. My dad gets so fed up with me mentioning this story.
Where did they go to?
You did it, Dad. You did it. They did. They went to Africa.
Africa?
Yeah, just round the corner. Yeah. Yeah, they did.
What, permanently?
No, we're here. We're not in Africa.
Well, that's not really strictly true, is it? That
no,
story?
It's not true at all.
You see, Andrea?
No, they went for 14 years. Yeah.
Did you? Then you didn't. You thought, oh, Andrea will be all right.
Yeah, she was fine. She was 24.
Go on, OK, Brooke. This is your chance to put the record straight.
Well, there was no mobile phones.
I was travelling. I was backpacking. I was away.
And 24 years old. She wasn't 10. And we had to move house quickly because someone needed our house.
Yeah.
So there was no way of contact her, waiting on her calling. And we told the man who had moved into our house, when Andrea calls, we'll be round the corner in this other house.
Until
but she never says anything about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did not abandon her.
I think it's because that doesn't make it that much better. No, it is true, to be fair. It sounds so much worse in this day and age because...
there was no phones.
Because there was no mobile phones, there was no internet, and literally I was backpacking. I was off the beaten track, so...
And what about the time you were in Bangkok and they had the riot?
Yes.
And you didn't get in touch?
I didn't ring home, no.
And,
tell them what I did.
We had all the council, everyone trying to find you, and you phoned from a beach.
No, I did worse than that. I wrote you a letter.
Oh, yeah, so it took...
Two weeks. 2 weeks. To let them know I was alive.
Whether you were in a riot or what, so?
So, no. Yeah. You know, fail, schmail, you know.
You lost me in France once, though, didn't you?
Yes, that was... well, we were camping, weren't we? That's right.
We were camping, and I remember being 5, and all of the caravans looked the same. You remember those ones with the orange curtains that we used to have, those caravans?
That's right, yes.
And I remember being completely lost. I remember this, I think I was 5, and being found by... If you had to draw a typical Frenchman, it was almost like he had onions round his neck, like a little beret and a baguette and a stripy T-shirt. Anyway, what seemed like hours after, which was probably half an hour, Mum and Dad walked into this little booth where they'd sort of kept me, and Dad spoke really fluent French, and you were sort of like with this little man going, oh, he... and this man's going... And then Dad went, Whitley Bay, and the man went, Whitley Bay? I'm from Whitley Bay. I've been here 30 years.
Do you remember when I must have been about 3 or 4, and I got lost at Edinburgh Castle?
But we were watching you.
They hid and watched.
I love things like that.
We had told you not to wander off, and you wandered off, so we watched you wander off.
Teach her a lesson.
I'm absolutely horrified by that. I just couldn't... I'm a bit too clingy. I'm obviously a bit too clingy to my...
But it taught her a lesson. She didn't do it again.
Yes.
I get
To be
it.
fair, I did go backpacking. I did. So have you never... I mean, you're looking shocked. This is all quite normal for us. You know, your kids wander off and you just, you know, there you go. That'll learn you. You never done anything like that before?
Well, there's one time when I was a working mother. And the children, I drop them off to, like, play school. They go to an after-school club after school because, you know, you do certain hours. And there was one occasion where I had a phone call at my workplace. Hi, we've got your 2 children here, and I totally forgot to pick them up. And they were there waiting for an hour. But I was working.
You were busy.
I was busy and I was working.
I did that all the time.
It's very easy. It's really easy to, like, get so drawn up in everything.
Yeah.
I think probably...
And that's worse than watching them go round the corner.
I've never done it before. I've never done it before. I've never done it since.
Yeah.
It only takes that
Amy
once.
got really used to me running through the office at school and her sitting on the floor, the school office, just looking at me like that. Because I was constantly forgetting whether they had after-school clubs or whether they had this or that and what time to pick them up. So it's fine. It's all fine. I mean, look, we're fine.
Yeah.
Stacey,
Still alive?
Stacey, have you had any parenting
Oh, God,
fails?
I've got an archive of parenting fails. The thing is I don't think they're parenting fails. I think they, you know, like when they say mould adds a bit extra nutrients to your body. I think these parenting fails add something to your children.
They're
Do you know what I mean?
character building.
Yes, they're character building. I remember recently, and my mum will know this because my boys complained about it to her for the days after, I made them dippy egg and soldiers for breakfast. And as I was, like, literally bringing the plates to the table, I dropped it all on the floor, and I just thought, oh, I haven't got any more eggs, so I just put it all back on the plate, and the eggs were all like...
No, there's no 5 second, 4 second, 3 second, 2 seconds. There's no rule. They'll get a smack.
Sorry, go on.
No.
Amy used to eat out of the cat bowl, so if it had fallen on the floor, you know, you'd think, well, you know, it's better than
I rang Louis
food.
today and I said,
cat hair
Louis...
never killed anyone, did it?
I said, Louis, have you got any parenting fails of mum? And he said, not that you can tell on television. I said, well, tell me one that I can tell on television. He said, well, it's probably one that you don't know. And I went, oh, my God, what? And he said, well, it was the time when I really struggled to get on the football team and you and Keeley came to watch. And we actually won 7-0 and I scored the major 3 goals. And afterwards, you'd just been talking all the way through and turned to me and go, did you lose again? He went, no, you missed all 3 goals. I'm chatting on the sidelines.
Now, do you know,
Sorry, Lou.
this is going to make all of us feel better about, you know, watching while the kids wander off, forgetting them at school, you know. This is Michelle got in touch. She said, I was dropping my kids off at school, got home and realised I'd left my 3-year-old in the playground. The school rang me as I realised. So, see, that's even worse than us. You know, she wasn't even going to that school and she left her there. That's fine. Happens totally fine.
Don't even worry about it.
All good.
You should take
I'm
your
thinking
kids
of
to
loads
school.
now that we're on here.
Oh, do you know this one we can all relate to? Kerry, taking your kid to school in uniform on non-uniform day. Do you know what I've done? I've taken my kids to school and didn't realise it was an inset day. And they've got there and the whole school is shut. And then they're like, Mum, why don't you even know? It's like, I never read those emails. No. There we are. We all turned out all right. It's all right. Don't have to worry about losing the Edinburgh Castle.
And
It's
thanks,
all fine.
Daddy, and thanks, Betty. You've been lovely.
I
You
know.
are lovely.